Aren't you tired of having your heart broken? How about you join me on this calm and chill side of golf? I mean, you don't have the emotional roller coaster in golf. So if you're ready to join me, let me quickly walk you through. I know you're saying this is mini golf, but golf, not golf. First rule, no matter how great a golfer you are, you can never get this square into that hole. Watch this. It wouldn't even go far. Absolutely. So let's set this aside for a moment and show you how it works. What you need is this ball, which is round, in that hole, which is obviously round as well. And that has been the bane of governance in Nigeria, getting the right people in office. We call it square peg in square hole, or round peg in round hole, whether it's for the president, National Assembly members, governors, or even civil servants. But there's this group of people that we don't quite pay attention to, and that is the judiciary. I'm talking about judges. You don't get to vote for judges, so have you ever wondered who gets to decide who the judge will be? Just recently, several judges were sworn in at the appeal court and the FCT High Court, and that again brought the debate up to how are we sure that they are there solely based on merit. Some people even dug much deeper to decades ago, and then they asked, why is it that we've had some names consistent in the judiciary? Names like the Belgores, the Kutigis, the Ademolas, even the Odilis, and of course, the CJN, Olukayode Ariwola. What you find in some cases that we've had the parent, the child, grandchild, and even sometimes in-laws. So I dug even deeper and I found at least two lines of argument. One said, well, if they are qualified, absolutely, let them take the office. Another says, well, it is dangerous, and it points to nepotism, or at least the possibility of it. But I'm curious, what do you think about this? In my digging, I found this very interesting material from the gavel, which I think you should take a look at. It will help you understand how this works. So what I'll do right now is take my shot. I've got my round ball and I've got the round hole. So ladies and gentlemen, watch me. Ooh, look at that. I know after this, some people will still stay with football, but I've tried my best.
A report published on the National Bureau of Statistics website has shown that a total of 721 billion naira, that is $1.26 billion, was paid in cash bribes to public officials in 2023 alone. The report followed findings of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime Survey in partnership with the National Bureau of Statistics. In terms of amount, judges receive the highest average amount per bribe in a year. There are other officials like the Customs and Immigration Service, the members of the Armed Forces, the Land Registry officials, but we are going to be focusing on the judges. We will focus on judges because this is unprecedented to see judges involve themselves in bribery. The judge, they are the custodians of the law. They are the constituent of the constitution. They interpret the law and they defend the common man. So if judges are involved in bribery and corruption, then there is serious problem in the land. Let's talk about the Nigerian judiciary, because for so long they have been immersed with so much corruption and scandal. Of course, we all know that the Nigerian judiciary has faced significant challenges in recent years, including corrupt practices that undermine the justice system. These challenges has led to a loss of public trust and confidence in the judiciary, which is essential for upholding the rule of law and ensuring justice. Regarded as the last hope of the common man, the judiciary, made up of the court, is one of the three arms of government. Of course, we know that the legislature and the executive are the other arms of government. Its functions are constitutionally defined and spelled out, hence the courts are duty bound to do its job. Section 6 establishes the judiciary as one of the three arms of government, alongside the executive and the legislative arm. Section 230 provides for the establishment of the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, the Federal High Court, the National Industrial Court, and other courts. Section 231 establishes the Supreme Court as the highest court in Nigeria, with appellate jurisdiction over all other courts. Also, Section 240 provides for the appointment of judicial officers, including the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice of the Supreme Court, and the Justice of other courts. Section 241 establishes the National Judicial Council, which is responsible for the appointment, promotion, and discipline of judicial officers. Section 242 provides for the funding of the judiciary, including the establishment of the National Judicial Fund, while Section 243 allows for the removal of judicial officials from office, including the Chief Justice of Nigeria and other justices. These provisions aim to ensure the independence, impartiality, and effectiveness of the judiciary in Nigeria. It is from the above premise that the judiciary become a very important part of governance, as it has a constitutional role to separate fight, settle dispute, interpret laws and rules among the other two arms of government, among the federal, state and local government, among ministries, departments and agencies of government, among international organizations, private sector and individuals. Suffice it to say that the judiciary has not lived up to its reputation and expectation as the last hope of the common man. Some attribute it to a number of factors, especially corruption. Causes of corruption in Nigerian judiciary include political interference, lack of transparency and accountability, inadequate funding and resources, poor judicial appointment and promotions, and inadequate training and education for judges and judicial staff. Unfortunately, corruption in the judiciary is not a new phenomenon in Nigeria. It has a long history that predates the country's independence in 1960. Here is a brief overview. In the pre-colonial era, the traditional societies in Nigeria had their own system of justice, which were often based on customary law. While these systems were not perfect, they were generally considered fair and accountable to the community. The colonial era, the 1940 to 1960, the British colonial administration imposed their own legal system, which was often corrupt and biased towards the colonial powers. The post-independence, the 1960s to 1970s, after independence, Nigerian judiciary was modeled after the British system. However, corruption and political interference began to creep in, particularly during the military regimes of the 1970s and the 1980s. The 1980s and the 1990s, the Nigerian judiciary faced significant challenge during this period, including political manipulation, corruption, and lack of resources. The 1990s to 2000, the return to democracy in 1999 brought some improvement, but corruption and political interference continue to plague the judiciary. From 2010 to the present, in the recent years, there have been efforts to address corruption and improve the judiciary integrity, including the establishment of anti-corruption agencies and initiatives to promote transparency and accountability. Here are some notable cases decided by the court in Nigeria that have been criticized for undermining the justice systems and democracy. Atiku Abubakar vs. INEC 2008. The Supreme Court ruled that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) had the power to disqualify candidates from election, which led to the disqualification of Atiku Abubakar, a former vice president, from contesting the presidential election. James Ibori vs. Federal Republic of Nigeria 2014. The Court of Appeal acquitted James Ibori, a former governor of Delta State, of corruption charges despite evidence of his involvement in money laundering and corruption. Lamido Sanusi vs. Jonathan 2014. The Federal High Court ordered a suspension of Lamido Sanusi, the then Central Bank governor, who had exposed corruption in the oil sector. Oladimeji Fabiyi vs. Federal Republic of Nigeria 2015. The Supreme Court acquitted Oladimeji Fabiyi, a former deputy governor of Edo State, of corruption charges despite evidence of his involvement in embezzlement. Orji Uzor Kalu vs. Federal Republic of Nigeria 2016. The Federal High Court acquitted Orji Uzor Kalu, a former governor of Abia State, of corruption charges despite evidence of his involvement in money laundering. Nnamdi Kanu vs. Federal Republic of Nigeria 2017. The Federal High Court ordered a proscription of the Indigenous People of Biafra (IPOB), a separatist group led by Nnamdi Kanu, and labeled them a terrorist organization. Samuel Ogundobe vs. Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Federal High Court convicted Samuel Ogundobe, a journalist, of criminal trespass and theft for reporting on a corruption story. Dele Begore vs. Federal Republic of Nigeria 2018. The Federal High Court acquitted Dele Begore, a former minister of Federal Capital Territory, of corruption charges despite evidence of his involvement in money laundering. Mohammed Abacha vs. Federal Republic of Nigeria 2019. The Supreme Court acquitted Mohammed Abacha, son of the late head of state Sani Abacha, of corruption charges despite evidence of his involvement in embezzlement. Of course, the big one, the one that happened recently, the political coup that happened in Nigeria in 2023 and was legalized by the highest court in the land. In 2023, the Supreme Court delivered a judgment that sparked controversy and debate among Nigerians. The court ruled that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the candidate of the All Progressive Congress (APC), was validly elected as president, despite claims that he did not meet the constitutional requirement to contest the election. The court decision was met with widespread criticism, with many arguing that it undermined the country's democratic process and the rule of law. The opposition People Democratic Party (PDP) and other groups alleged that Tinubu did not possess the requisite qualification to contest the election, citing issues with his educational background and citizenship. The Supreme Court judgment was seen by many as a blow to Nigeria's democracy, as it seemed to prioritize political expediency over the rule of law. The decision sparked protests, outrage, and calls for reform across the country. Here are some notable cases of corruption in Nigerian judiciary. Justice Mohammed Yunusa, accused of receiving a 500 million bribe to influence a case. Justice Rita Ofili Ajimogobia, charged with corruption and money laundering. Justice Kabiru Auta, accused of receiving 121 million naira bribe. Justice Adeniyi Ademola, charged with corruption and possession of illegal firearms. Justice Mohammed Samia, accused of receiving a 200 million naira bribe. Justice Umezulike, accused of receiving a 10 million naira bribe. Justice Abubakar Taba, accused of receiving a 15 million naira bribe. Justice Patrice Ajoku, are charged with corruption and abuse of office. Justice Oluyinka Oyiloye, accused of receiving 4.7 million naira bribe. Justice Okeke, accused of receiving 5 million naira bribe. The consequences of corruption in the Nigerian judiciary are far-reaching and can have devastating effects on individual society and the rule of law. Some of the consequences include erosion of trust. Corruption in the judiciary can lead to loss of public trust in the legal system, making it difficult for people to believe in the fairness and impartiality of the court. Injustice. Corrupt judges can render unjust decisions, leading to wrongful convictions, acquittals, or dismissals of cases. Delayed justice. Corruption can cause delay in the administration of justice, as cases may be intentionally delayed or prolonged to extort money or favors. Discrimination. Corrupt judges may favor certain individuals or groups over others, leading to discrimination and unequal treatment under the law. Undermining of democracy. A corrupt judiciary can undermine democratic institutions and the rule of law, threatening the stability of the political system. Economic consequences. Corruption in the judiciary can discourage foreign investment, hinder economic growth, and lead to financial losses for individuals and businesses. Social unrest. Widespread corruption in the judiciary can lead to social unrest, protests, and even violence. Loss of credibility. A corrupt judiciary can damage Nigeria's international reputation and credibility, making it harder to attract foreign investment and participate in global affairs. With all that have happened so far, you can see the reason why the country is not progressing. You can see the reason why there is no rule of law. You can see the reason why every institution in this country, they've all collapsed. The main reason is because our judiciary is corrupt. To fix this country, we must first of all look at fixing the Nigerian judiciary. Going forward, we must strengthen the judicial institution. We must improve the court infrastructure and enhance the independence of the judiciary. The judiciary should be loyal to the people and not to the president. Again, we should establish a robust accountability mechanism such as asset declaration, disciplinary procedures, and transparent decision-making process. Regular training should be provided for judges and judicial staff on ethics, integrity, and anti-corruption measures. We must leverage technology to enhance transparency in court proceedings, case management, and judicial decision. There should be an establishment of independent bodies to investigate and address judicial misconduct and corruption. Appointment and promotion of judges should be based on merit. Above all, we should demonstrate a zero-tolerance approach to corruption within the judiciary, ensuring swift and severe consequences for corrupt practices. By implementing this measure, Nigeria can work towards a more transparent, accountable, and integrity-driven judiciary that upholds the rule of law and ensure justice for all. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.